Before we start, a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button. Only 4% of my channel is subscribed. When it reaches 1,000 subscribers, I will release a special video.
Princess Aria stood on the balcony of her palace, her ice-blue eyes scanning the horizon. Her heart was heavy with the knowledge that her world was on the brink of destruction. The XR Empire, a colossal force known for its ruthless conquests and enslavement of entire species, had set its sights on Vesper. And the Galactic Council, the governing body that claimed to uphold justice and peace, had turned a deaf ear to her pleas for help. In the grand hall of the palace, the Council of Vesper had gathered. Advisors, generals, and diplomats filled the room, their faces etched with worry. At the head of the table sat King Orion, Aria's father, his once strong visage now marred by age and the weight of impending doom. "We must find a way to hold them off," Orion declared, his voice resolute despite the despair that threatened to overwhelm him. "We cannot allow the Exar to enslave our people." General Thalos, a seasoned warrior with scars to prove his battles, stepped forward. "Our defenses are strong, but they are no match for the Exar's fleet. We need allies, Your Majesty." Aria, clad in a flowing gown that seemed to shimmer like stardust, stepped into the hall. Her presence commanded attention, not just because of her royal blood, but because of the strength and determination she exuded. "The Galactic Council has abandoned us," Aria said, her voice steady but filled with sorrow. "They fear the Exar too much to risk their own worlds. We stand alone." A murmur of discontent spread through the hall. The counselors exchanged uneasy glances, knowing the truth in Aria's words. The Galactic Council, once a beacon of hope, had become a collection of self-serving politicians more concerned with their own safety than with justice. "We cannot give up," Aria continued, her eyes blazing with resolve. "If the Council won't help us, we must find those who will." King Orion nodded, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes.
"What do you propose, Aria?"
"There are regions of the galaxy that the Council and the XR consider insignificant, primitive even," Aria explained. "The Altair territory is one such place. The humans there are known for their fierce independence and bravery. They may not have advanced technology, but they have the spirit to fight." General Thalos frowned. "Humans? They're a savage race, barely out of their primitive stage." "Perhaps," Aria conceded, "but they have something we need. The will to stand against tyranny. We have no other options." The room fell silent as the counselors pondered Aria's proposal. Finally, King Orion spoke. "It is decided. Aria, you will go to the Altair territory and seek their aid. We must place our trust in their courage." With a determined nod, Aria left the hall, her heart set on the dangerous mission ahead. She knew the journey would be perilous, but the fate of her people depended on it. As she prepared for departure, she felt a surge of hope. The humans of Altair might be seen as savages by the galaxy's elite, but in them, she saw potential allies, kindred spirits who understood the value of freedom. As night fell over Serenia, Aria stood on the launch pad, her small spacecraft ready for the journey. The stars above seemed to whisper promises of unknown adventures and untold dangers. She took a deep breath, her mind racing with thoughts of what awaited her in the Altair territory. The engines roared to life, and the ship lifted off, cutting through the night sky. Aria watched as her beloved Vesper Isles grew smaller and smaller, until they were but a distant memory. Her heart ached for her home, but she knew she had to be strong. The fate of her people, the legacy of her ancestors, rested on her shoulders. As she navigated through the vastness of space, Aria's thoughts drifted to the Galactic Council's betrayal. The same council that had vowed to protect all races had turned its back on Vesper. She clenched her fists, vowing to prove them wrong, to show the galaxy that even the most underestimated could rise to greatness. Hours turned into days as she journeyed through the stars. Finally, the Altair territory came into view, a cluster of planets, each unique in its own right. Her destination was Altair Prime, the heart of human civilization in the region. She knew little of their customs or their leaders, but she had faith in their reputation for bravery. As she approached Altair Prime, her sensors picked up a fleet of small ships on an intercept course. Her heart raced. Had the XR found her already? But as the ships drew closer, she saw the insignia of the Alteran Defense Force emblazoned on their hulls. Relief washed over her. "This is Princess Aria of Vesper Isles," she transmitted. "I come in peace seeking your aid against the Exar Empire." There was a moment of silence before a gruff voice responded. "Princess Aria, you are cleared for landing. Welcome to Altair Prime." The human ships escorted her to a sprawling city, a stark contrast to the crystalline beauty of Serenia. Here, structures were rugged and practical, built for defense rather than aesthetics. As her ship touched down, a group of humans awaited her, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Aria disembarked, her heart pounding. She stood tall, her regal bearing unwavering. "I am Princess Aria," she announced. "I seek your help to save my people from the Exar." A tall man stepped forward, his face lined with the marks of countless battles. "I am Commander Elias of the Alteran Defense Force. We've heard of your plight, Princess. Tell us more, and we will see what we can do." As Aria recounted the horrors her people faced and the Council's betrayal, she saw a flicker of empathy in the humans' eyes. They had faced their own struggles, fought their own battles. Perhaps in their shared pain, they could find common ground. "Your fight is our fight now," Commander Elias declared. "We may not have the technology of the Exar, but we have something stronger. The will to resist. We will stand with you, Princess Aria, and together we will show the galaxy what true courage looks like." Aria's heart swelled with hope. The journey had just begun, but with the humans of Altair by her side, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The shadows over Vesper were vast, but in the darkness, a new light had been kindled, a light that would guide them through the coming storm. Chapter 2: The Comet's Flight. The royal palace of the Vesper Isles was a place of resplendent beauty, an oasis of art and culture in a galaxy often marred by conflict. Its crystal spires reached toward the heavens, reflecting the light of twin suns. But on this day, the palace echoed with hurried footsteps and hushed whispers. Princess Aria, with her emerald eyes filled with a mixture of determination and fear, prepared for an exodus that would strip her of her royal regalia and thrust her into the cold embrace of the cosmos. Aria moved quickly through the palace, the hem of her cerulean gown sweeping the marble floors like the tail of a comet. Beside her, loyal attendants and guards hurriedly made preparations. She paused briefly in the grand hall, its vaulted ceiling depicting the proud history of her people, now on the brink of devastation. With a final glance at the mural, she steeled herself and continued onward. "Your Highness, the ship is ready," a voice broke through her thoughts. It was Captain Elian, her most trusted guard, his face etched with worry. "We must leave immediately. The Exar forces have breached the outer defenses." Aria nodded, swallowing the lump of fear that had lodged itself in her throat. "Thank you, Elian. Gather everyone. We leave now." The escape vessel, a sleek craft designed more for speed than combat, awaited in the hidden hangar beneath the palace. Its silver hull gleamed under the dim lights, a stark contrast to the growing darkness outside as the Exar's warships blotted out the sky. Aria climbed aboard, followed by her small retinue of loyalists. The ship's engines roared to life, a deep hum that resonated through her bones. "Set course for the Altair territory," Aria commanded as she strapped into the co-pilot's seat, her hands trembling slightly. "And may the stars guide us." The ship ascended rapidly, breaking through the atmosphere of Vesper. Aria's heart clenched as she looked back one last time at her homeworld, now ablaze with the fires of war. The once pristine landscapes were marred by explosions, and the cries of her people seemed to echo through the void. She forced herself to turn away, focusing on the stars ahead. The journey was fraught with peril. As they navigated the intricate web of hyperspace lanes, their sensors picked up multiple Zar patrols. Aria's mind raced, her tactical training from years of royal education coming to the forefront. "We must avoid direct confrontation," she said, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her. "Use the nebulae as cover and stay off the main routes." The ship danced through the cosmos, weaving between asteroid fields and slipping through gaseous clouds that shimmered in iridescent hues. Each evasion maneuver was a calculated risk, a ballet of survival against the relentless hunters of the XR fleet. The crew worked in seamless unison, their trust in Arya evident in their every action. One particularly tense moment came as they neared the pulsar's reach, a region of space known for its intense radiation and electromagnetic storms. The ship's systems flickered, alarms blaring as they entered the volatile area. "Shields to maximum!" Arya shouted, gripping the controls tightly. The ship lurched as waves of energy battered its hull, but they pressed on, using the pulsar's emissions to mask their trail. Hours felt like days, and exhaustion weighed heavily on the crew. Arya took turns with Elian, piloting the ship and ensuring everyone remained vigilant. During a rare moment of calm, she found herself gazing at the stars, her thoughts drifting to the uncertain future. "We will make it," she whispered to herself, a mantra of hope. Finally, the Altair territory loomed on the horizon, its star systems bathed in the soft glow of distant suns. It was a region often dismissed by the galactic elite, but to Arya, it represented sanctuary. The sensors detected no XR ships in pursuit. At least for now, they were safe. The ship descended towards Altair Prime, a planet known for its rugged landscapes and fierce inhabitants. As they entered the atmosphere, the skies were a brilliant canvas of reds and golds, the setting sun casting long shadows across the jagged mountains. Arya felt a sense of relief wash over her. They had made it this far. Landing in a secluded valley, the crew disembarked, stretching their weary limbs. Arya looked around, taking in the unfamiliar yet striking beauty of Altair Prime. She knew their arrival would soon draw attention, and they had to prepare to meet the locals. Her heart pounded with both fear and hope. This was her new beginning, a chance to rally new allies and perhaps turn the tide against the Exar. Captain Elian approached, his expression one of cautious optimism. "Welcome to Altair, Your Highness. What are your orders?" Arya straightened, her resolve hardening. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the valley into twilight, Princess Arya stood tall, a solitary figure against the vast expanse. She was no longer just a princess fleeing a lost cause. She was a leader, a beacon of hope, and a symbol of defiance against tyranny. The stars above seemed to shimmer brighter, as if acknowledging her resolve. Chapter 3: Refugee Among Stars. The Altair territory, an expanse of space dismissed by the galactic elite, lay on the fringes of known civilization. It was a place where starlight shimmered through the cosmic dust like a celestial ballet, untouched by the pervasive tendrils of high-tech empires. Here, amid scattered planets and asteroid belts, Princess Arya's desperate flight found its haven. Her ship, a sleek vessel marred by the scars of escape, pierced through the atmosphere of Altair Prime, the largest habitable planet in the territory. The journey had been grueling, her navigation systems barely functioning, and supplies dwindling to the point of desperation. Yet, as the ship descended, hope flickered in her heart. This was her last refuge, the only place left untainted by the iron grip of the Exar Empire. As her ship touched down on a remote landing pad nestled between towering cliffs and dense forests, Arya felt a wave of exhaustion wash over her. The air, rich with the scent of pine and earth, was a stark contrast to the sterile, recycled atmosphere she had endured during her journey. She stepped out, her ice-blue skin glistening under the twin suns of Altair Prime, her eyes scanning the unfamiliar terrain. The humans who approached her did so with caution and curiosity. They were a rugged people, faces weathered by hard work and lives spent in the frontier. At their forefront was Captain Aiden, a tall, imposing figure with piercing green eyes and a demeanor that spoke of both authority and kindness. "Welcome to Altair Prime," he said, his voice a gravelly mix of caution and curiosity. "I am Captain Aiden, leader of this outpost. You are unexpected." Arya straightened, her regal bearing never faltering despite her wariness. "I am Princess Arya of the Vesper Isles. My world has fallen to the XR Empire, and I seek refuge. The Galactic Council has abandoned us." The humans exchanged glances, a mix of surprise and skepticism etched on their faces. But Aiden, sensing the truth in her eyes and the desperation in her voice, nodded solemnly. "You are safe here, Princess. We will not turn you away." Arya's relief was palpable, though her mind remained vigilant. These humans, considered primitive by the wider galaxy, held an untapped potential she could sense. They led her to their settlement, a series of interconnected domes and structures built with a mix of advanced technology and rustic ingenuity. It was a testament to their resilience and resourcefulness. Inside, she was introduced to the key members of the community. There was Dr. Elena, the head medic with a sharp intellect and a compassionate heart. Marcus, the engineer whose innovations kept the settlement running smoothly. And Sarah, a fierce warrior with eyes that missed nothing. Each greeted her with a mix of awe and respect, recognizing the gravity of her presence among them. In the days that followed, Arya found herself integrating into the fabric of Altair Prime society. She worked alongside Dr. Elena, using her knowledge of advanced alien medicine to assist in the clinic. Her touch brought healing not just to the physical wounds, but also to the spirits of the people, who found in her a symbol of hope and resilience. The humans, in turn, began to see her not just as a refugee, but as a leader and ally. They marveled at her grace and wisdom, traits that belied her youth. In the evenings, she would sit with them around communal fires, sharing stories of her homeland and listening to tales of their struggles and triumphs. Bonds formed, bridging the gap between alien princess and human settlers. But peace was fleeting in these troubled times. The XR were relentless, their hunt for the escaped princess unceasing. Scouts and probes frequently appeared in the skies, searching for any sign of her. The humans, with their limited resources, had to remain ever vigilant. One night, as the twin moons of Altair Prime cast a silver glow over the settlement, alarms blared. A Xar probe had breached their airspace, its ominous silhouette cutting through the night sky. Captain Aiden rallied his forces, and Arya, now one with the community, stood by their side. "To arms," Aiden commanded, his voice echoing through the settlement. "We must bring it down before it reports back our location." The humans sprang into action with practiced efficiency. Makeshift anti-aircraft weapons, products of Marcus's engineering genius, were wheeled into position. Arya, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination, joined the fray, her alien knowledge aiding in the rapid calibration of their defenses. The probe descended, its sleek form emitting a low, menacing hum. It scanned the settlement, its sensors probing for any sign of the princess. The humans opened fire, their weapons lighting up the night sky with streaks of plasma and explosive projectiles. The probe retaliated, its own weaponry tearing through the settlement's defenses. Arya watched in horror as the battle unfolded, the probe's advanced technology overwhelming the humans' best efforts. But then, in a moment of clarity, she saw a weakness, a small, vulnerable vent on the probe's underside, a chink in its otherwise impenetrable armor. "Marcus!" she shouted, pointing out the weakness. With precise coordination, Marcus adjusted the aim of their primary cannon. The next shot struck true, piercing the vent and causing the probe to shudder and falter. A cheer rose from the humans as the probe crashed to the ground in a fiery explosion. The battle was won, but Arya knew it was only the beginning. The XR would not stop until they had her. Yet, in the faces of the humans, she saw a determination that mirrored her own. They had chosen to stand with her, to protect her, and in doing so, they had become more than allies. They had become her family. As the fires of the wreckage died down, Captain Aiden approached her, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We will protect you, Princess," he said with unwavering conviction. "No matter the cost." Arya nodded, a newfound resolve hardening within her. Together they would stand against the coming darkness, a beacon of hope in a galaxy overshadowed by tyranny. And in their unity, they would find the strength to change the fate of the stars themselves.